Good evening, Sobat. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm good. Good evening, Natasha.
So I think it's been just about 2 weeks now when you initially sent that text message saying that you got a
Yeah,
735, and
yeah,
apparently you just came out of the center and you got that
yeah,
score of a 735.
yeah,
We're looking at the score of 100 percentile with quant about 88 percentile, verbal 95th percentile with 88 or 90, verbal 100 percentile 90 or 90, and data insight 94th percentile. So you also had shared, maybe I could just yes, the overview,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
And this is, I think it's an interesting view for all of us to just see. um,
Mhm.
you're looking at the quant, two questions are wrong. And I
Yeah,
think when we
I,
we speak, and we speak quite a lot, if these two questions were below 14th question, no, your percentile would have been very different, right? You
oh,
got,
is it? I
yeah,
didn't know that. Okay,
it would have still been around 90th percentile, right? The
okay,
first, it happened within the first 14 questions. This is what Sandeep sir said.
okay.
And then I think you had one question wrong, and that was towards 18th question.
Yeah.
Look at that. Had this been in the number four question, it would,
So my percentage would have been down, you mean?
yeah.
Okay.
And in data insight, you had about one, two,
Yes,
three,
yeah.
questions, four, and yeah.
Four questions, yeah.
Four of them wrong.
Yeah.
Again, majority of them were within the top 14, within the first 14 question, and that's why the percentile went down. I mean, I've spoken to so many students who had 5, 10 questions wrong, 5 questions wrong, okay, in
Mhm.
TI, or even verbal for that matter, and still been able to get like 100 percentile.
Yeah.
That was now 99 percentile. So that
Mhm.
was one of the trickiest thing. But yes, so I asked you then, I ask you again, how do you feel about this 100 percentile score?
I mean, yeah, initially I was really happy. I was surprised that I got such a good score because like I started with quant, then I gave DI and then I gave verbal. So like as I was practicing with mocks, I figured that my isn't that good. So I was of the opinion that okay, my quant is strong. I'll finish up these two uh, sections first. I'll build some confidence and I'll go to verbal with some good confidence. But while I was giving it, I figured that okay, there are a couple of questions which were tricky. I was not sure of them. So I took the break after like just before verbal, and I figured that okay, the first two did not go that great, and and I had to kind of be more focused on verbal. And like fortunately for me, it turned out to be good. Yeah. So yeah, immediately after the exam, I was very happy. But yeah, then after thoughts settled down, it was just like I realized that this is just the first step towards getting the admit, right? So still there's a
Yeah,
path to
whole.
still follow.
No,
Yeah.
but we'll still talk about this because it's not easy as you say it. We've seen the struggles. There have been times when you've run out of the course material, you needed some more practice, and so many things in between, and that cannot go unnoticed because that is what you've done to get that score. And we'll probably take about a few minutes to just go about how did it all, what all the things that you did during your preparation that that led you to this score. But
Yeah.
before we get into that, could you just talk about yourself? What are you currently doing, and how did this entire idea of the GMAT कि चलो अभी करते हैं that came into
Yeah,
play?
so yeah, I graduated from BITS Pilani. I did my engineering from BITS Pilani. I graduated in 2022, and since then I've been working as a software engineer in Amazon.
Right.
Right. So it's been around 2 years here. So to me, it kind of felt that just being a software engineer is not enough for me. Like personally, okay, yeah, I mean, technically I'll achieve some prowess and all that, but I kind of felt that I need some more skill set in myself for my, it's at least to excel in the corporate ladder, right? So I felt that MBA is the right path to go. And since I have been from one of the most prestigious institutions from the country, right? So it was for me that, okay, now that I've done my undergrad from one of the best institutes
One
from the
one checkbox is done. Now the next.
yeah. So now I was kind of like, okay, we'll try for something which is best in the world. So I think that was the main motivation for me. And yeah, GMAT obviously has to be the first step for that, right? So
So,
that's the
was there
thing.
any inspiration in your workplace or your peer group? Because है ना, बिट्स पिलाने का बहुत WhatsApp group भी है,
Right.
somewhere there.
So nothing in particular as such. For me, it was just that ki, like personally, I've for me, I've not been like okay, somebody has done this, I need to follow this particular path. For
Right.
me, it's about excelling in whatever I'm doing and whatever I want to do, right? So if I want to do an MBA, be it from the best place in the world, you have to do it from there.
Right.
That's it. Yeah.
So perfect. We'll obviously talk about it in a short while. Where have you applied and what are your thoughts? So now you decided to go ahead with GMAT and you decided with Sandeep sir. Did you choose the self-paced course or the live online classes?
Yeah, so I started with the live online classes, right?
Okay.
So the kind of expectations which I came up with was that okay, how I studied during my coaching in 11th and 12th standard, right? That you will be taught some theory and then you do some homework and next day you kind of learn more theory. But here it was kind of a bit different. I think that's primarily because there are a variety of people here as well, right? I mean, from all sort of backgrounds here. So I think the thing was that here we were mostly solving doubts in the class sessions, right? So obviously, I did attend all the classes. I used to solve all the problems which were given to me, and yeah, so that was I think pretty much I started with that. Then there was some personal emergency in my family, right? So I kind of halted for month and a half. I
Okay.
couldn't study much, yeah. So then I had to again gather up things again and start again. So that was the thing for me. So yeah, so I like when I started with the classes, I planned on giving the GMAT exam by June, by end of June. My plan was to just finish it up by June. And I think starting in February was the ideal time, but due to that emergency, I kind of overran by about month and a half because
Correct.
of that. Yeah, yeah.
Right. So, two things here. Obviously, you mentioned that your expectation was to something will be taught and then go back and do the homework. GMAT
Yeah.
was this teaching was completely flip side. You have to do the homework and
Yes,
then you will be corrected and then taught. Right,
yes, yes, yes,
and that is the ideal way. Did you
yes.
see yourself because of work or because of pressure, personal anything that you did miss out on any of the session or coming unprepared, or you were very diligent with your work? What was it like?
No, no. Initially, though, I was very relaxed, to be honest. So I just used to just attend the classes. I hardly studied anything at all.
Did okay, okay.
I just used to come in and quant and all. Okay, that was fine. That wasn't such a hard thing I felt personally. So that I did not study much theory, but over the time I realized that verbal was something I needed to work upon.
Hmm.
Right. So that is, I think that also started putting effort in the last 2.5 months, like taking out like regularly studying for 2-3 hours at the very least, right? Be it anything, and putting in more effort during the weekends. So that is how I did that. Yeah, but during the initial classes, during the weekdays, I did not do anything at all.
Not much. So, but over the course material content or the plan that sir has, or every week that he, has a plan, what stood out the most for you in the learning phase of your preparation?
Yeah, so as I was saying, for course wise, I think the material is excellent. I think it is very exhaustive. That really helpful of. So like I was kind of rusty with maths and all because it's been a while since I have not touched it. Like I do recall, like looking at the question, I do recall that yeah, there was a method to do it, but I kind of forgot upon it. So I had to brush up things. So since the material is pretty well organized, right? It was easy for me to I knew that okay, this is something I'm not very confident about, and I need to do more questions of this particular topic. So I just used to go in and just do random questions of those topics, right? So that I think, yeah, the organization of material is amazing. Even that on the drives, what we have, right? All sorts of materials, that is amazing. That is too good.
Right. So this break that you had, was it after the class? After the classes were
Yes.
done?
No, no, it was towards the end of the classes, I would say.
Towards
Yeah.
the end. So this is
Yeah.
something again because something that you may have not seen, right? It's an
Yes, yes.
emergency
Not
at
at
the
all.
end.
Not at all.
And a lot of people do go through this phase, and it's very hard to come back from that. People find it very difficult to again sit back and get to studying. So how was your coping mechanism overall to come back again to prepare? What was that driving force? Self-motivation, I would just say.
Yes,
Yeah.
self-motivation for me, it was key. I had personally set a deadline for myself, right? And but I had to do it, beat anything, right? Because I wanted to apply for round one's application. So I had to be ready with my GMAT score by July at the latest, right? So that was for me, time was ticking. I had to do it. I did not have any option at all.
So,
So
but there are two personalities that is coming. एक तो you were slightly relaxed with the preparation,
initially,
and you
yes,
were very
initially.
tightened up with your deadlines.
Yes, yes. So, yeah, initially I was relaxed because once I kind of saw the level of the exam and all those things, I figured that okay, I
This,
need to kind of solve a few mocks, not a few mocks, but at least spend a month and a half on just solving mocks, and I can get it done. right? So since I did not anticipate that particular emergency, because of that, things got shifted. Then I had to like, oh shit, time is running out now. I have to do it everything.
Right.
So yeah, that was
But
the main motivation.
something that was demanding from workspace as well. Matlab, did you have like a long, no, it was pretty much a certain.
Yeah, so for me, yeah, my work is kind of on and off kind of a thing, right? I think that is at all places it is such that sometimes you need to put more effort in work and sometimes it is a bit relaxed, right? So in that, yeah, in that sense, one thing was earlier I used to even work on weekends as well, right? So now I kind of uh, made that boundary very clear that no working on weekends. Weekend has to be studying, no
Right.
matter. Just finish everything by Friday, then we'll open the laptop again on Monday. Do din kuch bhi nahi karna, just study. That's
Right.
all. Yeah, so
Right.
that discipline is very important, I feel.
Right. So obviously you got your score on August 2nd, because I think we had some more conversation around the fact that how is your preparation going and you need it, and you were pretty much, I think at the time you around July you were pretty much scaled up to giving your GMAT, and you
Yeah,
said that you had scheduled and you
yeah.
did have a certain one or two questions. Should you consider doing it at the test center or at the online? Do you have any insight to it? Because I did mention, we could go for the test center. Did you
Yeah,
chosen
yeah.
it any other way?
No, no. I mean, see, I asked you where I need to give it. You said test center. I told just मैंने आंखें बंद करके it's just put
Followed
test
whatever
center.
you said.
Yeah, yeah. No, that has been the thing with me, right? So if I have trusted uh, the center here at the top 1%, you are saying something, I need to follow it because you guys have been doing it for a while, right? You know
Right.
what the procedure, what is there, right? You have said it, I'll just do it. That's it. Because
Yeah,
I see, I'm totally new to this. I don't know what works better, what works, what does not work better. So
true.
it is a tried and tested thing from your side. So yeah, that's all.
So looking at those timeline, it's so surreal that you gave your first attempt and you got the score and you told, and you were like, I was at a place where there's Stanford and then there is Sobat score, and I was more overjoyed of having your score right there. So you tell me about what was the sequence of the section that you took. You did touch base in the very beginning,
Yeah.
but in the
So
exam.
yeah, so I was just, I think, reading through a blog or something. So somebody had mentioned briefly that, I mean, they at least generally be, at least that particular person was giving the sections first in which they were very confident, right? For example, I was good in quant, so I started with quant, and then after that DI, because DI also is more or less quant, I feel. I mean, in a way, right? It is maths related heavily, and verbal I was not very confident of. So that was the order in which I planned to give the exam. I did experiment with it a little bit during the mocks when I was giving mocks, but this turned out to be the best strategy for me, I felt. Yeah.
Just to touch base on the mock, because you needed some extra support there. How did you find the portal, and how did
Very
it play an important role in your?
it's very helpful. As before giving the mocks, I was just solving questions, and
Right.
my accuracy was good. So when I gave the very first mock, I got a score of 555 or something like that.
Oh my
So
God.
that's kind of an eye opener for me. Ki, okay, something's wrong with it. So then I started giving more mocks, and I understood that I had to manage my time better, right? That and also, I mean, since I'm coming from a JE background, I had this habit of going आगे पीछे with the questions, doing this question, then we'll do this later and all those things. But GMAT does not allow you to do that, right? So you have to do things in sequence. So you kind of have to adapt to that pattern there, and you have to develop your own strategy that how you need to target each question. Okay, if something is taking more than, let's say, 2-3 minutes and you are still not sure of it, just get done with it and move on, because there are a lot of, you just can't waste more time on one particular question because it will mess up others, right? So you need to kind of come up with such strategies there. So yeah, this was the thing.
Right. ये आगे पीछे होने के चक्कर में when you see the score report ना,
Yeah.
in the end it's written कि 5 correct to incorrect. It was
I saw that. I was like, why did I
तो
change it?
शायद now I'm relating it back, because then we need a little bit more analysis. आपने वो share
Yes,
किया, but now I
yes,
can I
yeah,
can relate it overall.
yes, yeah. So
So was there any section that seems to be like you lost track on time, or you lost a lot of time in any of the section?
during the exam, no, not really. Because see, as I said, right, when I started with the mocks, I was struggling with this a lot, right? So towards the as my exam was approaching, so I kind of paced up with things, and I always, I think even yeah, I think even Sandeep had mentioned this, that leave 2-3 minutes at least for reviewing your questions, right?
Correct.
So I always, whatever was the counter, I used to cut 3 minutes and be like, okay, itna time baki hai, just finish everything.
Finish everything. Yeah.
जितनी जल्दी हो सकता है, do not wait for things here. Whatever is coming into your mind, just do it as fast as possible. Do not, second guess yourself. Whatever comes first, just do it. Because there is no time here. You need to be very quick here, right?
Correct.
So that is, I felt, is very important. Yeah.
So you were able to complete all the sections within the
Yeah, yeah,
time.
yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so cool. And you also mentioned that you were pretty surprised with the high score, given that the top marks में तो 700 से भी ऊपर नहीं आया था. You
Not
700.
even once. Not even once. Like
Right.
official GMAT mocks which I gave, those ones I scored good.
Right.
So I was not very sure that what would be the actual level of the GMAT exam, right? So I was kind of hunting online to find how does the practice mock relate with the original GMAT, and people, I mean, what I could gather was that the official GMAT is a little bit harder than what is there in the practice mocks, the official mocks, right?
Right.
And so I kind of felt, okay, they might be closer to what we have in the top 1% mocks, right? So yeah, I was expecting a score around 705, 715, right? But 735, not at all.
So now when you look back and if you have to kind of summarize entire preparation and the content and Sandeep sir's everything into do's and don'ts, what would you say?
See, the foremost important thing in do's is ki whatever Sandeep sir is saying, the आंखें बंद करके do.
Right.
You might have questions of yourself, तुम्हें लगेगा कि नहीं, I've been doing it the other way around, I've been successful with that and all those things. But whatever you're saying, just do it. Just do it. आंखें बंद करके करते रहो. मतलब गधे जैसे करते रहो. Sound harsh there, but yeah, that's how you start with, and you then develop a habit. Yeah, अच्छा, okay, this is how things are working. Yeah, and one thing I really felt when I was doing my mocks, right? So I recall Sandeep telling this many times that you keep doing it, and you feel कि nothing is coming. मतलब I'm not improving at all, and out of the blue, मतलब one day everything, the accuracy increases, your time management increases out of the blue, right? So that kind of happened with me as well. कि कल तक मेरा मतलब I was kind of struggling with my time management, accuracy was not improving, and suddenly the next day things started improving, right? So एकदम से वो flip हो जाता है, even as you were saying. So in do's, yeah, whatever Sandeep is saying, whatever the institute says, do it. मतलब you might have your questions, but do it, whatever they say. And don'ts, man, I don't know what to say, but
Don't flip back and forth too much. Don't
don't,
change incorrect to correct.
don't
Correct.
change your answers. I don't know. Yeah,
No,
but
but I really like the very relaxed attitude, self-motivated, and you've got that score. You just went. It was so relaxing even during your preparation to talk to you also. कि आपका एक question था, एक answer, and you're like sorted, right? It
yeah.
was as a student also you've been like extremely diligent. And yes, it took time because of situation that you did not anticipate. But here you are with the score. So what are the 5 schools that you finally decided to apply? Did you apply or are
No,
you
no,
still
not
wondering?
yet, not yet. So I've been kind of lagging with my work. So I've been really busy there since my GMAT. So
Right.
I did get in touch with all three.
Yeah.
So yeah, I have to kind of get back to him. So I haven't done that, but yeah, hopefully, I mean, I have to kind of talk to him about what are the ideal schools I should be applying to. But ideally, what I would want is to apply in the M7.
M7 schools,
Yeah,
of course. There's
get an
nothing,
admit there. Nothing
yeah,
short of that. So
nothing
that is
short
what
of
I'll
it.
be. Yeah,
You
that
said
is.
you've been in bits now, and nothing, anything short of M7 is not going to probably will not be settling for you.
Yeah.
You've got a very good score, a great score. I mean, with this score, you can apply to any top schools. Now you just have to make your application storyline really, really great.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for sharing this story, Sobat. It's just so interesting, your overall journey, and even I was a part of it somewhere. But
Yes.
you shared it 2 weeks ago. I was overjoyed, and even today when I talking to you, I must tell you, of course, because I tell this to all our students as well. But since I am taking it, it's something that is from Sandeep sir. He obviously passes a bigger congratulations to you. He's extremely
Thank you.
proud. I
Thank
mean,
you.
you get the score, it validates what he's doing, right?
Right. Yes.
And
Yes.
if you do get a chance anytime, if you would like to, give a shout out, please do. Especially
Yeah.
this month,
Definitely.
we've said we are like completed 15 years, and
Oh,
most of us, most of our students are word of mouth. They refer each other, right?
true.
If there's anyone in your circle and you would like to shout out, let us know. about it that you've referred so that, we can give back to
Sure,
you as
sure.
well. Because this is something that we are also having a referral program. Please stay in touch with me as well for something like this, and I will be able
Sure.
to assist you. In
Okay.
any 7 school, we'll have conversations. Lovely, lovely talking to you. Thank you
Yeah.
so much for making it this evening. And you have a lovely day. Bye-bye.
Yeah. And yeah, thanks a lot. I mean, thanks a lot to top 1%, I would say. Yeah.
Thank you again.
For
Pleasure
helping
is all
scoring
ours.
this amazing score. Yeah.